Well, I know the last time Arsenal last played a game, they left when they're nursing wounds. Liverpool beat them at Emirates by 2-0. And in the Premier League, the last game they played against Fulham, and Fulham beat them by 2-1. Moreover, Arsenal were the first ones to score through Bukayo Saka, but they went ahead and obviously lost that game by 2-1. And we return to the Emirates. That is tomorrow on a Saturday, as Arsenal takes on the side of Crystal Palace, a team that Arsenal's gonna hate to beat twice last season, away and at Emirates. And this time around, they are coming at the Emirates. This season, Arsenal beat Crystal Palace by 1-0. In that game, I think an Arsenal player was red carded, and when he was red carded, Arsenal was 1 goal ahead of Crystal Palace, and Arsenal went ahead to win that game by 1-0. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And this is a Friday. Juma Karim to all the Muslims all over the world and the Christians. We thank God for the gift of life, and we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Arsenal comes into this game of football when they've gone ahead to really see themselves slide a little bit, and they are no longer in the top they are in the top 4, but they are tied on points with Tottenham Hotspur, and Spurs have gone ahead to play 21 games, 1 game more than Arsenal, and they have 40 points, and Arsenal is also having 40 points, meaning that if Arsenal win their game of football tomorrow, they'll have to go some 3 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. And Liverpool are still on top of the Premier League table. They're having 45 points and they're playing on Saturday. Manchester City is having 43 points and Aston Villa is having 43 points. So that is all about the Premier League table, and Arsenal know it very well that if they are to come on through and obviously get themselves going, they're supposed to win this game of football. In the previous 7 games, Arsenal had won 1, drawn, I think they had gone ahead to draw 3, and they lost 3 games. So, in so doing, they want to get back to winning ways. Remember, they've been away in Dubai for the warm weather training, and they are back. They are back at London Colney to prepare for the game of Crystal Palace, and today we expect a pre-match press conference as Arteta tells us who is available and who is not available. And the players we expect to return in this game, I think Zinchenko is forcing his return into the starting 11 of Arsenal, but Fabio Vieira, Thomas Partey, Julian Timber are really out of this game. Then El Nini and Tomiyasu are really out. El Nini is in the African Cup of Nations. Egypt has gone ahead to draw their second game consecutively in the group stages. Mohamed Kudus scored a brace against Egypt, and Egypt went ahead to obviously score 2. So the game ended 2-2. And Tomiyasu is playing the Asian Cup for his Japanese national team. Those are the players that we least expect to obviously be available. When we go to Crystal Palace, Ayew is out to the African Cup of Nations, and he played yesterday as they played against, is it Ghana, right? Yeah, as he played against Ghana, and they really had a very good go at one another. So he played against Egypt, and he really played very well. So they are going to miss him. I've seen even a story that Olise is having what we call, Olise is having a hamstring, and he might obviously not make it to this game. Rob Holding, who signed for Crystal Palace, is expected to miss out because of an injury that he's really having, and Mike Olise is also out. Cheick Dokore is having an Achilles injury. Joel Ward is having a thigh injury. Juresen Rakasachi is having a thigh injury, and those are the players that are really out. So Gabriel Jesus is expected to make his return for Arsenal, but whether he starts or not, all that is in the hands of Mikel Arteta. Now, Arsenal are obviously going to dominate this game. They're going to have a lion's share of the possession. They will knock the ball around. And Crystal Palace will have to park the bus, play a low block, and hit Arsenal on the break. But Arsenal has to obviously look so much onto the players like Ebelechi Eze. You understand? Eze, Ebelechi is really a very good player at Crystal Palace. If Olise makes it to this team, it will also be another addition to that side. And let's go into the predicted starting 11 for the side of Arsenal as they face Crystal Palace tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. The capacity at 60,000 people, 704, where a side like Crystal Palace can only be given like I think 5,000 tickets to obviously come in through. The system that Arsenal play is all about a 4-3-3 system. It's a 4-3-3 system, and we are having David Raya in goal. Remember the last game Arsenal played, it was Aaron Ramsdale in goal, and we looked great. I remember he made some good saves, and that pass he obviously made to Reece Nelson that really opened up the chances of Arsenal that they never went ahead to make it count when they're playing Liverpool in the first half count. It was really a very good ball from Aaron Ramsdale. But this time around, it's gonna be David Raya returning in between the stitches for the side of Arsenal. Right back, Benjamin White, no doubts about that, and I think he's gonna really start into that game. Left back, if Zinchenko is not fit to play a lot of minutes, I think the manager is gonna go in for Jakub Kiwior. And for Jakub Kiwior, I think he needs these games to come in through to see to it that he obviously becomes confident. He's a very talented guy, and I really love the way he plays the game of football, but he's not being given enough games has always affected his career. When they were playing against Liverpool, he netted in his own goal. When they are playing against Fulham, he was responsible for that goal that acted as an equalizer coming in from Fulham, because we would have gone ahead to mark that side very well. Though we obviously wanted to blame Saliba for allowing that cross to come in through. So this time around, he needs to obviously perform to the levels we expect him to be performing at. Central defense partnership on the right side, it's always William Saliba. On the left, it's none other than Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, that is the back four that we expect Arsenal to put up, and I think it can do the job. It can keep a clean sheet, though Arsenal at the Emirates are one of the teams that don't keep clean sheets. They've kept very many clean sheets away from home, and at the Emirates, it's hard for them to keep clean sheets. On average, they've gone ahead to concede in every game, apart from the game of Sheffield and Man City. I think for the rest of the games, Arsenal found themselves conceding goals. And I think even the game of Brighton, right, they kept a clean sheet. But all other games in the Premier League, they've gone ahead, obviously, concede at the Emirates. Then we go to the midfield. Declan Rice, CDM. As he celebrates his birthday, I think this comes in through like 3-4 days after him celebrating his birthday, and he comes in through to obviously take Arsenal and steer them to where they want to be in as far as competing for the trophy is really concerned. If they win this game, it will be very important for them, and Declan Rice is going to be pivotal into that midfield. We go to the other player, Odegaard. I think he's going to play a part into that midfield, plus Kai Havertz. I think that's going to be the midfield three that Mikel Arteta is going to go for when he's facing the side of Crystal Palace, because that midfield of Arsenal is really, really strong. When you look at it, you obviously get to know that a lot is going to be happening into the team of Arsenal as they look into their transfer list on who they're supposed to bring in and who they're not supposed to bring in. After that, we go to the forwards. I think Bukayo Saka is going to play as a right forward for me. And having gone ahead to rest for 2 weeks without kicking a ball, this is the right time for him to return to play the game of football for the side of Arsenal. And he is one of those players that needs to obviously up their standards to get Arsenal to where they were last season, because if he doesn't do that with Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal is going to really struggle a lot. Martinelli, left forward for the club of Arsenal, he needs to obviously rise up to the occasion. Every time he's needed, he needs to come in through and obviously score goals. For a player who has gone ahead to score 2-3 goals this season, yet he had very many last season. It worries you a little bit when you see to it that he's not obviously getting in those goals as required. That is Martinelli for you. Let's go to the center forward. Jesus or Trossard or Nketiah. With Gabriel Jesus coming in from any injury, I think the manager is going to really rest him and see to it that Eddie Nketiah leads the line. That is it. So I see Eddie Nketiah leading the line of Arsenal tomorrow as they take on Crystal Palace, and maybe Gabriel Jesus will come on later to obviously play some minutes because he has not been playing competitive football and he needs to obviously get used to that again. So that is the predicted starting 11 for the club of Arsenal as they take on the side of Crystal Palace. And one will ask me, Rokani, now, if that's the predicted starting 11, what are your predictions? Now, before I bring you the predictions, let me first read you these head-to-head stats coming in through from Google. Can they even show up on the screen? Let me see. Let me first see whether they can obviously come up onto the screen. If they can, the better. If they can come up the screen, the better, the better, the better, the better, the better, the better. All right. I think God has helped us, and they've tried to obviously show up. 1. After a run of just one win in 8 Premier League matches against Crystal Palace, 5 draws and 2 losses. Sorry about that. From 2018 to 2019 to 2022 to 2021, Arsenal have now won each of their last 3 games against the Eagles. Last season, at Selhurst Park, Arsenal won by 2-0. It was an own goal from Guehi and I think Gabriel Martinelli. Was it Gabriel Martinelli or Zinchenko? I think it was Gabriel Martinelli who scored those goals. When they came to Emirates, I think it ended, 3 or 4-1 in favor of Arsenal. This season, at the Selhurst Park, Arsenal have beaten them by 1-0. Secondly, Crystal Palace have won just one of their last 12 Premier League away games against Arsenal. 4 draws and 7 losses, winning 3-2 in April 2019. Thirdly, Crystal Palace have picked up few points in Premier League London derbies this season than any other side. 6 wins. In 6 games, they have 1 win, 3 draws and 3 losses. Away from home, the Eagles have won just one of their last 17 matches against fellow London clubs, 9 draws and 7 losses, a 2-1 victory at West Ham in November 2022. So it shows you that they are not good visitors, especially when they are playing against teams in London. The London derbies don't do them well. Fourthly, Arsenal have lost their last 2 Premier League London derby matches as much as their previous 25 combined. 17 wins and 6 draws. The Gunners haven't lost 3 consecutive such games since March 1993. When they talk about London derbies, we are having 3. Sorry, Arsenal is just going to hate to play 2. Against West Ham, they lost 2-0, and against Fulham, they lost 2. They lost 2-1, meaning that those are 2 London derbies, and this one comes in through to make it 3. And they've never gonna hate to lose 3 London derbies consecutively. That is it. Then, lastly, Arsenal have taken just 4 points from their last 15 available in the Premier League, winning 1, drawing 1, and losing 3. They had only dropped 9 points from their opening 15 league games this season beforehand. So, you now know exactly what Arsenal has to obviously face off into this beautiful game of football, and that takes me to my prediction. My prediction is 3-1 Arsenal. I know Arsenal is going to win in this game of football. 3-1 Arsenal is my prediction. Now I call upon for your reaction to the comment section below. But Roy Hodgson is the manager of Crystal Palace, and he's going to make it hard for Arsenal. And for Arsenal, this has going to have to become a song. The first goal is really important. And for Arsenal, they scored the first goal against Fulham, and they ended up really losing the game. So they have to obviously score many goals, because it looks like they've been having very many goals crossing their goal line in all the games they've gonna hit to play as the side of Arsenal. And what do you make about it? Here onto the Rokani Media Football. So guys, thank you very much. Which player would you start and which player wouldn't you start? And who do you get out of my predicted starting 11? That I've gone ahead to think of to play the side of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have played in the midweek. It might also help Arsenal a little bit because Arsenal's going to hit the rest of 2 weeks, and Crystal Palace played Everton in the midweek and they lost by 1-0. So it looks like Arsenal has been resting and Crystal Palace had to play in the third round playoff of the FA Cup. So their last game they played away. Let me see. Their last game they played away in London. They lost to Chelsea 2-1, but that game was really very close, right? And Roy Hodgson is really working hard not to this team that really lose this game of football. And Mikel Arteta, if he's to win the game of football against Crystal Palace, he has to edge the manager as far as the tactics are really concerned. Rokani David is my name. Hope you guys are really doing fine. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslims, Juma Karim and Barakallahu Fikum. We out for now. See you later.